Aw yeah, are you ready for the first ever Boonslayer Top 10 list? Well, I'm sorry, this is actually just the top 6. You know what? Whatever. Here's the video. So, in case it was difficult to figure out from the title, this video is about Power Rangers. I grew up as a big fan of Power Rangers. It started when I was at a pretty young age, and I actually watched every single episode when it came out. I'm not as big of a fan now as I was then, but I still generally enjoy it. But one thing about Power Rangers that always needs to be good is the theme song. And today, I'm counting down my 6 favorite theme songs. Now to clarify, I'm judging these themes based on the version that was used on television. In other words, the extended cut, I'm not really using. There's certain duplicates that I've disqualified, but we'll get there when we get there. In addition, one of the criteria that I put on a high regard is how well the lyrics and the instrumental fit with the season in question. Keep that in mind as I go through this list. That being said, let's get started. Number 6. So picture this. You started from the beginning, and then you went through these 3 seasons, and this big story arc had just happened where the Rangers got brand new powers. You've seen this all before, and you're expecting the same old theme song that you've been hearing for the past 3 years. And then they throw you a curveball. What is this? This is nothing like what I'm used to. Oh lordy. But I like it. Zia was actually really good because it was the first time that we got a true new beginning for the Power Rangers. Yeah, it was still the same crew, but it was the first time that the theme song really changed. And that was part of the key difference with this season. This theme does a good job representing the shift in the way that the Power Rangers narrative worked in this season. And that's part of the reason it's on this list. It's so fitting, and admittedly there's a little bit of nostalgia in there, but you know, I kind of rated this a little bit lower because I realized that part of the reason I like this one so much is because this was the second Power Rangers theme I ever heard. So, number 6 on my list. Number 5. You're probably asking yourself, if I'm such a big fan of Power Rangers, what's my favorite season? Well, I'm just going to go ahead and answer that right now. Obviously, my favorite season is Power Rangers Turbo. Sorry. My actual favorite season was Power Rangers in Space. To me, this season, among the originals, was probably the most well-written. My understanding is that this was originally going to be the last season of Power Rangers, and you know what? They decided if we're gonna go out with a bang. And then because they did it that way, they ended up getting to do more. And that is how you get remembered. Oh, okay, now that I've talked enough about why I like the season, let's talk about why I like the theme. First of all, it makes an impression immediately by doing the countdown, which again does fit with the space theme. This theme also really connects the instrumental and vocals together. If you listen, they're almost using the same notes, and it's impressive that they don't seem to blend with one another when they do that. Most of the time, if you sing the exact notes that are in the instrumental, they kind of end up blending together too much. And they actually avoided that in this particular season, so kudos to them. Finally, the song's lyrics do a good job of explaining what the premise of this season is and how it sort of connects. I really like it. Not to mention, it's catchy as hell. Number 4. A lot of countdown videos, especially regarding music, when you're talking about stuff that somebody likes, there's always going to be 1 or 2 entries where a lot of fans start complaining and saying that the reviewer doesn't know what they're talking about. This is the entry that's going to have a lot of people saying, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, before you judge me on this one, hear me out. First of all, for what was chosen as the story in the Power Rangers for this one, namely that they work in a record shop and one of the main characters is a DJ, yeah, hip-hop makes sense. Also, yeah, hip-hop is a pretty hard sell for Power Rangers, and it's been done very poorly with Power Rangers before. But I don't think this song is a poor example. I certainly see why the voice would grate on some people, but it doesn't really grate on me. There are cases of vocals grating on me that we'll get into when I do my worst list. But the music starts orchestral and then moves into this orchestral hip-hop beat very smoothly. That's part of the reason it works so well for me. I know that a lot of people think that Power Rangers shouldn't have any form of hip-hop or anything like that in it. And yeah, there are reasons that people think that, but I think it works beautifully in this situation. And that's why it's my number 4. I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me for putting Mystic Force on this list, but I think it deserves its place. Number 3. So, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on this one. I'm just going to start playing the song and let you figure it out. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that the original would make this list. Even though it's like layered with 90s cheese, it still holds up really well. I guess the reason it's not higher is because, well, the lyrics are Go, go, Power Rangers. That's it. Lyrics don't exactly hold up. When I was talking about clone themes being disqualified, I was specifically talking about clones of this one. We're talking Season 3 with the Alien Rangers, Samurai, Super Samurai, and yes, I know there are a couple of musical differences in Megaforce. They're not significant enough for Megaforce to make this list on its own. Therefore, I pretty much stuck with Mighty Morphin as my number 3 choice. Number 2. So you're probably wondering what I could consider more epic of a beginning than that. How about this? Yeah, when you listen to this theme, it kind of seems like a no-brainer, huh? This was actually pretty close with the number 1 as to who was going to get that top spot. And listening to it, it's pretty clear to see why. It opens with a huge amount of energy and a sense of adventure in the notation that kind of serves to guide you on what the general theme of the show is. And the lyrics also do a good job of getting you into that sense of adventure. I don't feel like there's a lot of explanation needed for this one. I'm sure someone will tell me why they don't like this. But for me, Lost Galaxy is the second best theme in the history of Power Rangers. Number 1. So, it seems a bit odd that the older Power Rangers fan is picking the newest Power Rangers theme to top the best of list. Yep, Dino Charge gets my number 1 spot. Dino Charge and Lost Galaxy are practically tied. They both have the epic beginning. They both have lyrics that describe the theme of their seasons. Not as much on the details, but the theme can go a long way. And here's the thing that Dino Charge has that Lost Galaxy doesn't. A message. Power Rangers is really about togetherness, and although I haven't watched this season, it seems like this theme is all about togetherness. In fact, it's about setting aside cultural differences on top of that. When you really listen to the lyrics. Really, that's the exact type of message that Power Rangers is the perfect show to send to kids. The real reason that this theme ends up at number 1 is because of the message found within it. And granted, I do need to watch the season and see if that message does follow through into the program itself. But as it stands, this is a really great theme. I've mentioned this worst themes list 1 or 2 times in this list. And I'm going to be getting to that in a couple weeks. First, though, I have another best of list to cover. And this is another topic that I don't really talk about a lot, but I have a lot of passion for. Until then, this is your friendly neighborhood Boonslayer, signing out. Bye!